Good morning, I'm Denise Seymour with Murray Hydronics in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Welcome to our session called Communication, Connect, Collaborate, and Engage. First as a courtesy, if you could either turn your cell phones off or silence them. If you attended our kickoff event this morning or the bonus session at 10 a.m., you had a preview of what to expect from our outstanding motivational, inspirational speaker. And if everybody can please give Connie another warm welcome.
Wait till I do it, then they can do it.
Okay.
Thank you. So raise your hand if you were not in our leadership session. Raise your hand. Okay, so it's about half, and the other half were. So let's start with, where's our squares? Raise your hand. Okay, triangles, circles, okay, squiggles. Okay, excuse me, I just need, they didn't put in my contract, I got to use the bathroom or drink water. So communication. I'm going to give you a couple of things. Those of you in the leadership, don't freak out because I'm not going to do it the same way, but I need to do a couple of things. All of you need to write down positive, negative, and ignore, because I'm going to use this in communication again. Positive, underneath negative, below is ignore. And next to that, I need you to write parent, child, adult. We talked about this in leadership, but I need you to know it in communication, because every time you open your mouth, you're either saying something positive, you're saying something negative, or you're ignoring the person. Every time we open our mouth, we have a tone in our voice that either is a parental tone, and you know it's parental because you can just picture them having a finger in your face. It's an adult tone, which is what we want to be going after, or it's a child tone. So I want to talk about these three a little more in communication. You all know what a parental tone is, right? So raise your hand if you had at least one caregiver that you butted heads with. And the problem is they always had a parental tone. I need, I want, I expect. They were angry no matter what, right? And they were telling you what they wanted, what their expectations, as long as you live under my roof, as long as you're in my house, as long as blah, blah, blah. Raise your hand if you had one caregiver like that. And that tone, if any of you are doing that as parents, stop it. That tone turns the other person into a child. I don't care if they're 25 or 30, they're going to become a child. Here's where we need to learn new stuff that we didn't learn in leadership. Next to the word child, write hurt and anger. The two most manipulative emotions in the world are hurt and anger. Everybody that pushes your buttons, anybody that ticks you off, anybody that causes you to be speechless, anybody that pushes you to debate or argue or cry or whatever, is using one of these two. Think about it. They're either angry or they're hurt. They're feeling, they're sad, they're depressed, they're hurt. It's very hard for us to communicate when people are using one of these two. Would you agree? In a marriage, now, I have to do a lot of disclaimers now, because first of all, let me talk. When I say marriage, I mean any two people of any gender who have committed their lives financially, sexually, verbally, mentally, and emotionally, okay? I mean, that's all up to you. So when I say marriage, it can be two people. I don't care who you are, what you think you are, what you identify. I identify, I have to say, as a young, sexy woman. That's what I identify as. Because obviously I can be whoever I want. So I'm going for young and sexy. That's who I'm going for. But, so don't get mad at me if I say marriage. And when I talk about relationships, again, so everything I talk about can be any form, correct? However, I am in a heterosexual relationship. I've been married to a guy. So I may use examples of my relationship, but it doesn't mean it has to be your relationship. Okay? We all set? Everybody okay? And so I don't want like nasty emails like, you know, and you know, years ago I was doing something on male and female, and a woman came up to me afterwards and she said, I never ask those questions. You have set women back 25 years. I have never, as a woman, done those things. I am going to sue you. I'm talking to HR. And I was like, wow. You know, have you ever had someone whose anger is way beyond what happened, right? And that was this case. It's not that maybe some of that couldn't happen. However, the amount of anger she had was way above what happened. And then all of a sudden she said, and my partner would never, and then I stopped. And I said, what's your partner's name? And she said, Amy. And I said, oh. And then she stopped and said, oh, I'm the guy. And I went, yeah. She goes, oh, yeah, it happens all the time. Amy says this, she asks this, she does this. So once we understand, no matter what your relationship is, who it's with, what it's with, in almost every relationship, somebody's doing some of the things I'm going to say, and the other person is trying to react to that. Does that make sense to you? So if I give an example, male and female, you put it whatever form you're in, and usually one person is saying it and one person is having to respond. Correct? Okay. In communication, child, hurt and anger. In a heterosexual relationship between a man and a woman, which one do you think uses anger more than hurt? Male. And which one uses hurt more than anger? In a heterosexual relationship, that is often the reason. I'm not trying to stereotype. I'm telling you what I see more than anything. So in a heterosexual marriage, what you're seeing a lot is a man gets angry and a woman doesn't like anger, so she gives in, and she cries and he doesn't like hurt feelings, so he gives in. Have you ever seen that happen? Maybe in your own parents. That is what we call a dysfunctional way of communicating with one another. We are using, so when I say hurt and anger are the two most manipulative emotions, regardless of what relationships are or who's in the relationship, usually there's one person that uses anger and one person that uses hurt more. Does that make sense to all of you? That's how we begin to dominate other people, by using an emotion that they don't like. And traditionally, women have shied away from anger and men have shied away from crying. That's not true anymore. Now, women don't mind if they make you angry, and men could care less if you cry. So now we're manipulating in different ways. Raise your hand if you've seen that to a degree. And it happens in stages of marriage. How many of you in here are married or have been married or wish you weren't married? One of those three. Hands up. Okay. The first stage of marriage is when we manipulate the most, and we use the hurt and anger. And at the first stage of marriage, we love people so much that we give in. We don't want someone to be angry. We're like, okay, whatever, just don't be mad. And someone cries or gets hurt, and oh my God, okay, don't, just stop it. Stop being hurt. That lasts about 2.5 years. And then we don't care. So now we're in a stage of marriage where we have to deal with the hurt and anger and not care about it. Otherwise, we're going to continue to be manipulated. Kids learn these two feelings really early on. How many of you have kids 5 and under? Okay, 5 and under. Okay. How many of you remember having kids 5 and under? Okay. So let me show you how a child learns hurt and anger. So let's say I'm 3, 4, or 5 in that little early age. And I want a cookie. Okay, women, I'm going to go for you first. You're the mom. Mom, and it's 5:30, and you fixed dinner, worked hard in the kitchen, and dinner's at 6. At 5:30, I say to you, Mom, I want a cookie, and you say what? Why not? It'll spoil your dinner. That is an age-old, generations, hundreds of years answer, right? Can I have a cookie? No, it'll spoil your dinner. Men don't generally have that answer. Men are like, sure, bring me one while you're in there. Okay? But then he has a time-old thing, which is, and whatever you do, don't tell Mom. So when we're little, we're asking for things and we don't know. So let's say I'm the kid, I'm 4 years old, 3 years old, 4 years old, 5, and I say, Mom, can I have a cookie? And you say, no, why not? It'll spoil your dinner. For a couple of years, we just walk away. But all of a sudden, our subconscious is born. Connie, what? This is your subconscious. You want the cookie? I can get it for you. And we start experimenting with how to manipulate our parents. And we start it around 2. And depending on how manipulatable you are will depend on how bratty and spoiled your kids are or whether they turn out to be decent human beings. Mom, can I have a cookie? Connie, let's use anger first. Anger's really good. Just yell and scream and holler and let's see what happens. Fine. I don't want your cookie. I never want your cookie. You're never home. You're always working. You're never here with me. Amy's mother gives her cookies. You know what? I wish I had Amy's mother. No wonder Dad left you. Oh, look. Whoa. Kids are doing this. Kids they're doing it. You know. How many of you in here are grandparents? And you've heard your grandkids talk. There's a different way of talking than it was. Things are being said that we wouldn't have let our kids say. There's a different way. Kids can use because they're trying it out. Now, if you answered, you know what, we're not going to have a cookie. If you think you want Amy's mom, I mean, I can help you pack your bag. I mean, maybe, but I think, not any cookies. We're going to eat dinner, and you can have a cookie afterwards. That's an adult tone. If that happened over and over, I would learn not to use anger. Connie, anger didn't work. Let's try hurt. That's based on guilt. Let's make your mom feel really bad. Mom, can I have a cookie? Okay. No, it's okay. I mean, you're never home. You're always gone at work. It's hard to be home. I'm little. I just wanted a cookie. I mean, Amy's mom always puts an extra cookie in her lunch, so I'll have one because you're too busy. I mean, if my brother wanted a cookie, you'd give him one. I mean, you've always seemed to like him better than me. I don't know what's going on. Okay, it's okay. Do you know that 90% of you in here will give me a cookie with one or both of those? All children are trying hurt and anger when they're 2, 3, and 4 years old, and they're waiting to see what happens. And if they get a cookie, then anger worked. Wow. Let's use that more. If hurt works, wow. When you have adults in here, how many of you in here have coworkers and employees, right? How many of you ever seen them use hurt and anger? Yeah, they've been doing it since they were 4 years old. And what happened is there was no adults in their life that stopped it. The answer to both hurt and anger is, well, I mean, I guess you can wish you had Amy's mom. That's not possible right now, but in this house, we're not going to have a cookie now. We're going to eat our dinner, and then we'll have one for dessert. That's it. If that happens, then the child learns not to be an idiot, not to scream and yell at you, and not to use hurt and guilt on you. But 90% of kids don't, which is why you all are now dealing with adults who are using hurt and anger, right? Think of it. The coworker. Okay, fine, I don't know what they want of me. I mean, they want everything, it seems like. I mean, let's talk about employee complaints. How many of you have ever heard a coworker, not you, of course, but how many of you ever heard a coworker complain about their job? Here's the top employee complaints. How many of you in here are in leadership? Any of you? Oh, you're going to love this because I'm going to tell you how to answer. You've had employee. Here's employee complaint around the world, number 1. Here's how they communicate. I just don't like work. Work, it's all I do. Connie, my company expects that I work from the moment I walk into the company until the moment I leave. Duh. That's why they call it. Do you understand that the number 1 employee complaint that they're communicating to other people is that they're being forced to work on the job? That's amazing. And they're getting away with it because you know what bosses are doing and people are doing? They're doing what we did as parents. I know it's really tough and it's hard and we've expected a lot of you and there's so much change and COVID just changed the supply chain and now we have this and I mean we just are expecting so much more of you. Do you understand now how we're letting the person know that griping about work is okay to do instead of saying, you're right, we're all working harder now. Yeah, it's tough, but that's kind of the way it is. That's the answer. Here's employee complaint number 2. 3 of us are doing the work of 4. How many of you ever heard that? Here's your answer. Well, do you want to be the 4th one? I mean, aren't you happy you're the three? One of the three? I mean, yeah, the fourth one doesn't have a job, so I don't get whether, tell me what's going on. I don't get what's wrong with that. And then the next thing you say is, don't you understand 3 of you have always done the work of 4? It's just we used to pay the fourth one. Now we're not. We're not paying people anymore to not do their job. So 3 of you have always done the work of 4. Isn't that a better way to answer? You're not giving in. Here's employee complaint number 3. Work just isn't fun. Not fun. What's your answer to that? Anyone have a good answer? I know it's not fun. That's why we pay you money, because we knew you wouldn't like it. Isn't that a great answer? Because let's be real honest. When we're talking about communicating, how many of you like something about your job? Okay, what do you like about your job? Obviously nothing. No. You like the people. What do you like about your job? Flexibility. You have flexibility. What do you like about your job? Your pay. You like the pay. But what outside the pay? What do you like about your job, Sid? A feeling. Your feeling of accomplishment. All of you like something about your job. Is that correct? Let me tell you this, whatever it is you like about your job, you will do the rest of your life for free. I mean, will you continue to work with other people and find something that makes you feel accomplished? And I love speaking. I love this. This is only 30% of my job. I hate conference calls, I hate airplanes, I hate hotels by myself, I hate negotiating for money. I hate 80% of my job. No one's paying me to do this. I will do this in nursing homes with catatonic people who are dead, okay? I will just be talking. They're not paying me to talk. They're paying me to do the crap. That's what you need to start saying to employees. You're right, okay? Work isn't fun. Work is hard. The fun part you'll do for free. You'll do it the rest of your life. We're not paying you to do the fun part. We're paying you to do the crud that you can't stand, and we're paying you to do it without griping. That's why we pay you money. That's why we're paying your mortgage and buying your food and paying the rent on your car. That's why we're doing that, because we know you're not going to like most of what we ask you to do, and we want to pay you money to do it and shut up. Isn't that really the answer? You're not paying them money to do what they love. You're paying them money to do what they hate and not gripe about it. Here's the next one. Connie, don't like all the change. I hate the change. Raise your hand if you've had any change in your company lately. Okay, how do we communicate how we feel about change? Any of you, any men in here have 5 or 6-year-olds? You do. Okay, what's your name? Rob? Okay, come on up here. Pretty please. Okay. So how old are your kids, Rob? 9 and 6. So you're a 6-year-old boy or girl? Girl. What's her name? Lizzie. So Lizzie's in first grade? Kindergarten. So she's almost done with oh, she's done. And she'll go into kindergarten or go into first? She's going to go into first from kindergarten. Okay. So first of all, let's test the audience out. How many of you in here, if you went to work next Monday and you had a new boss that you didn't know was coming, how many of you would be a little stressed? How would you be? 1 to 10. 10 being so stressed that you die. 4. Raise your hand if you'd be a little stressed with a brand new boss. Okay. What if you came to work on Monday and you had a brand new team? You didn't know it was coming. Office is the same, boss is the same, everything, but all the people you work with are changed. 20. Okay, raise your hand if that would stress you out. Okay, what if you came to work on Monday and your office was changed? They just moved everything to another building. Your team's the same, your boss is the same, but you're in a whole new building with a new office. Raise your hand if that would be a little stressful. Yeah, I kind of like where you are. And last one, raise your hand if you came to work on Monday, Robin, had a brand new job description. Like team is the same, boss, building, but everything you're doing is different. 1 to 10. That happened, okay. So raise your hand if that would be a little stressful. Brand new job, okay. So let's go to Lizzie. She's going to go into first grade. Is she going to have a different teacher? So new boss. Is she going to have new classmates? No? Exactly everyone's the same? No new kids? Yeah. Okay. How many of you in here have kids when they go from kindergarten to first have some different classmates? Yeah, okay, most kids do. Will she have a different curriculum, like to be doing different things in first? So she has a new job description, right? And will she be in a different classroom? So new office. So Lizzie, at age 6, is going to go in and have all 4 of those, which you see here. If any of these people had one, they're like out of their minds, okay? In fact, if any of you had one of those, we'd be calling in HR and having meetings about how to survive change and blah, blah. I mean, you're people, right? Can you imagine if your place of work had all 4 of those things happening in one day? But Lizzie's going to do it at 6. So knowing that an adult couldn't handle even one of those, they would be out of their mind, and Lizzie's going to have to deal with all 4. This summer, are you and your wife having in a lot of therapists and counselors and meetings? And well, that's what they would do in a corporation. They wouldn't let adults go through this horrendous change. Now, when Lizzie's in first grade next summer, are you going to do it to her again in second grade? New boss, new classroom, new people. You're going to do it 12 years in a row. And you went through it 12 years in a row. Okay, find a seat. All of you in this room, 12 years in a row, had a new boss, a new job description, a new team, and a new office. And you just did it. And nobody, and let me ask you something, Rob. If Lizzie came up and said, Dad, I just don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know my teacher. Would you like call in meetings and have people, what would you say to her? Suck it up. Suck it up, yes. Do you understand that he's communicating tougher with a 6-year-old than most of you are communicating with 40-year-old? Oh my God, there's so much change. And you're like, I know, there's a lot of change. We're going to bring HR and we're going to. No, do you know every time you talk like that, you're agreeing with them that they can't handle change, that there's too much change. And there's not. For 12 years, you changed everything and no one helped you. You didn't gripe about it, you didn't complain about it, and within 3 days, you as kids figured it out. You figured out the teacher, you made new friends, you got into the curriculum, and you got used to a new classroom and where it was. And then after 12 years, how many of you had parents that dropped you off at the college with a suitcase and left? Just drove away from you, just left you there. Stop communicating to people who are griping about change that you agree with them that change is horrible, terrible, and bad. If I was a child and you said to me, Lizzie, I know this is terrible. I don't know how you're going to do it. It's going to be a new boss, a new classmate. I mean, let's bring people in to help you because I don't think. And when you bring people in to help people get through change, you're telling them change is horrible and you don't think they're going to be able to handle it. And then they don't. I said in the meeting before, and I say it now, a lot of leadership and communicating is how would you communicate if this were your 7-year-old child? Because you're expecting more of your 7-year-old than you are your people. That make sense? Men and women. How many men in here have ever had a relationship with any woman at work or at home, and you've gone away from a conversation shaking your head, having no idea what she just said? Okay, again, disclaimer, not all of you are in this situation, but a lot of us are. I'm going to go out on a limb here, but in my experience of counseling for almost 40 years, there are different ways that men and women think. How many of you would agree that there are some ways that we think differently? So, let's take the interstate. So men, pretend you're all my husband, okay? We're on the interstate. I'm hungry. Now, women, how many of you have been in the car, the guy's been driving, and you're hungry? Now, if it were the man, and we came across a great big green interstate sign that said, food next exit, the man would do what? He'd exit. He wouldn't even ask you. You'd say, where are you going? I'm hungry. Well, so am I. Well, then get something. I mean, he doesn't care. He's hungry. There's an exit. He's going to get it. But let's turn around. Not all women, but some women. You're hungry. You see a sign, food next exit. There's still a lot of women, very independent, who will turn to their husband and say what? Are you hungry? Now, men are very literal. Very. They're like computers. They're like little computers. there's no software that you can put it into a computer that will allow him to read the deeper hidden message between the literal inputted information, right? So their minds are like a software program. So you say, "Are you hungry?" And the guy thinks and says, "No." And he keeps driving past the exit. Now, what do we do, women, when he didn't read our minds and know what we meant to say, even though we never said it? What do we do? Man, you know, what do we do? Yeah. We get a little sad, right? Right, we get a little sad. And you know. And we're going to give men, how many women in here have ever given men the what? Silent treatment. Are there any men in here that have ever gotten a silent treatment? Raise your hand. Okay. Women, here's the problem with that. It takes the average man 1 hour to realize you're not speaking. And if you asked him, he'd say without a doubt, this is like the greatest hour in the whole vacation. I mean, he's like sunroof back, radio up, muscles in his neck are starting. He's like, this is the greatest vacation ever. And we're getting madder every minute while he's getting happier every minute. So an hour goes by and we move into phase 2. It's called the female sigh. Let's hear it, women. No, let's hear it. There it goes. How many men have ever heard that sigh? And you have no idea what you did, right? No, you're like, okay, she's ticked. I don't. So you don't say anything because you're like, I don't want to talk about it because she'll get even more mad. So let's just ignore it. So you ignore the sigh, right? So we do another hour of silent treatment. He's not loving it as much because now he knows you're ticked, but he's still loving it. It's better than confronting it. But after about 2 hours, men, you have no choice. You turn to us and ask, do you want to know? No. Okay, women, the man could go the rest of his life and never know what's wrong with us and be absolutely fine. However, he's hoping for a little treat tonight. Okay, so he's like, if we don't talk about this, she won't be speaking to me tonight. So we need to, and women, you have to know that for a man to talk about the relationship is like the worst thing you could do to another human being. He doesn't want to do this, but he's asked what's wrong. And women, we got to give him credit. He didn't want to know, he doesn't care, he's just trying to get you happy again. Now, women, he's finally asked the words we want. He's finally showing that he cares. Do we now turn to him and say, I'll tell you what's wrong, I'm hungry, I've been hungry for 2 hours. First I gave childish, heaved a sigh and gave silent treatment, none of that worked, but now, the next exit, I need to get you to get off and feed me. Is that what we do? You say what's wrong, we answer nothing, and he says great, and he keeps on driving. This is why we have problems, right? And sometimes it's the other way around, because I've had men come up and go, well, I'm the one that's hungry, and it doesn't make any difference. Someone is doing that. So in communicating, we have to learn how to respond different to other people. All right, let's see. Anybody in here have a difficult person in their life? Don't say their name, just describe it, and I'll tell you how to fix them. And this is what I did before. Yes? None? Now, one of you in this room have a difficult person. Yes, sir, go. Oh, the world revolves around them. What's your name? Joey, come on up here. Okay. I want you to be that person, okay? You be the person that everyone revolves around. Is it a guy or a girl? Girl. Okay. So you're going to be the person everyone revolves around. I'm going to be you. So let's see if maybe I communicate differently with you. So where are we? Are we going out for a beer? Are we working together? What are we doing?
We're coming back from your soccer game.
Oh, wow, this is very explicit. Okay. Okay, you be her. We're coming back from her soccer game.
Dead silence. I don't want to talk about anything.
Okay, that's great on me. I don't want to talk either. Turn the radio up. Okay, we'll turn the radio down. Okay, what do you got to say? Okay, turn the radio up. That's all you do. When someone wants to talk about them or not talk, don't engage. Here's what people want from you. They want you to engage and be bothered. So here's what's wrong. Let's do it again, and I'll do the wrong stuff. Hi, how was your game?
Don't want to talk about it.
Oh, come on. I loved it. It was great. You did great. You were so good. I was so proud of you.
Why do you keep asking me? I'm leaving now. I don't want to drive with you. Goodbye.
Well, we're driving and we're in the car, but why are you mad at me? I mean, I'm trying to help you. Why are you mad at me? I mean, this is horrible. I can't believe. See the difference? Who's in charge of this conversation? She is, or he is, or whoever. They're in charge. And I am reacting. Whoever is the person reacting is the loser. You'll never win. You'll never have control of the conversation. And I keep using the word control, and it is about control. Do you see the other way? Yeah. So you don't want to talk? Oh, great. Turn the radio up and drive. Not bothering me a bit. Driving her crazy. And I know it, and that's fun. Oh, really? Don't you all want to be in charge? Is this a kid? Yeah. I mean, don't you want to be in charge of the kid? And now she goes, I love the next one. I want to talk now. You do? Who am I having turn the radio down? I am giving the orders. I'm the parent. Okay, turn the radio down. Okay, what do you want to say? Nothing? Okay, turn the radio up. Keep on driving. Do you see how easy that is? Stop engaging people. Thank you very much. Find a seat. You're engaging people. You're talking to them, especially circles. Oh my God, you don't want anyone to be mad. You don't want anyone to be sad. You want them to talk to you. And you're giving away power. Did you see a difference? And I use the word power. Do you see the difference in the two with who was in control? I don't care if she talks. The reason why teenagers don't talk to you is because you care. What's wrong? You okay? What's going on? I can tell by I mean, we do it with men. How many men in here are married? Okay. Let's see. Are you married? Okay, come on. What's your name? Yeah. This is my only chance I get to do something with a young, cute guy. Okay. I know, I'm way older. You have to use your imagination, but pretend we're married. There's 5 questions that women or someone in the relationship usually ask. So let's do these 5 questions. And these 5 questions are, what's your name? Todd? Kyle. These are the questions that no matter what you answer, you're still in trouble. How many men have ever been there? There is no answer. So let's do these 5, and this will help you guys, okay? Question number, what time is it? Okay, good. We're in the bathroom. We're getting ready to go out. Hi, honey. Do you notice anything different? No? Kyle. Yeah, I mean, did I do something to my hair? Why? Don't you like my hair? No, you think I should do something to my hair. Well, obviously you think I should. I thought it looked pretty good. I mean, I just had it done. I don't even, man, is this what happens? Women, can you hear it? Don't ask somebody. If you want a compliment, obviously I wanted a compliment, right? I got my hair done. Don't ask him. Men don't know that you're asking for something. When you want a compliment from a man, tell him what to say. Kyle, I just got my hair done, and I got highlights, and it's kind of curly, and I think I look great. What do you think? Looks fantastic. There you go. How many men in here want that? Women, when you ask questions like, do you notice anything different? You want a compliment, but you're not going to tell him. So just tell him, hey, I got new pants, I got new shoes, I got new this, I think it's great. And tell him how you're feeling. I hate my hair. And then you can say, oh, honey, or I love my hair. You're telling him what you want, and then all you have to do is answer appropriately, right? Here's question number 2. We're still in the bathroom. Hi, Kyle. I really need an honest answer from you, okay? Don't worry about my feelings. I'm looking to you for the truth. That's a trap. Okay, she doesn't want the honest truth. She can't handle the honest truth, okay? Does this make me look a little big? Now, women, don't ever ask a square that question, because they're blunt. So my husband's a square. I said, do these pants make my butt look big? And a square's answer was, I don't think it's the pants. So you gotta, but this is quite, do you think this makes me look big? Now, there's no answer to that, is there, men? So go ahead, what would you say? Well, I think it does. I mean, you're just saying that. I mean, I think it's the pants. Do you think it's the pants? Or do you think it's the shirt? Do you think it's the shirt? Or you think it's both. So you don't like my whole outfit. So women, do you see what kind of happens is we drag men in and then we say, well, they don't talk to us. Here's question number 3. What's your favorite sports team?
Alabama.
Alabama what? You know, there's basketball, there's college football. The name of the team is what? Okay, Alabama. Okay, look at that tone, like, you stupid thing, you. Okay, stand here. Okay, 150-inch flat screen TV. Alabama's playing. Remote control in this hand. Cool drink, bowl of snacks, second remote in this hand. Okay. Alabama is just about to make a play in football that has never happened in the history of football. And the play that they're about to make is so amazing that you're one of the first men that has ever seen this happen. It's happening right now. It's just about to happen. Question number 3, women. So what you thinking? Women with men, it's all about timing, okay? That's why halftime is there, okay? But he has to go to the bathroom and get something to eat. Okay, question number 4. We're walking down the ocean, the beach. We're walking down the beach, and we're in the Bahamas. We've had the most romantic day of our whole life. Kyle, do you think that woman's prettier than me? There's only one right answer, guys. Come here. Kyle, do you think that woman's prettier than me?
Which woman?
I said, what woman? No, I said, what woman? I said, what woman? Which woman means you're looking at more than one, Kyle? I'm kidding. Okay, last question. And he's right. I said which, so he was right. Most men don't argue with me in front of an audience, Kyle. Okay, last question. Kyle, you've had the worst day of your whole life. Horrible day, okay? All you want to do is walk in the door of this house. You have a favorite chair or couch? What color? Tan? Is it beige? Is it caramel? I mean, men need to know their colors. Okay, so you have a beige couch. All you want to do is get to that couch and sit, okay? So you're coming in, headed towards the couch. We intercept with question number 5. So what's wrong?
I don't want to talk about it right now.
Well, that must be nice. I wish I didn't have to talk about things if I didn't, but we have kids and we have homework and we have stuff going on. I mean, I don't have that privilege. I mean, do you want to get to your chair? Okay. I mean, just be honest. Did you have a bad day?
Yes.
Always about your day. What about my day, Kyle? I mean, your day's over. You get to sit. Have you seen me sit? You're not going to see me sit. So go ahead. Go sit in the couch. And it's always about you. You know, never mind. Never mind. Just go. Really, just go. No, really, we're done. Just go. So walk away? No, seriously, you're going to walk away? Kyle, we were in the middle of the most important discussion that we have ever had. No, we're going to finish this. I mean, you know what the problem is? We never talk. And sometimes, Kyle, I don't need your advice and I don't need your fixing. Sometimes, Kyle, I just need a hug. I just sometimes need a hug. Oh, not because I asked for it. No. Give him a hand. Thank you so much. How many of you have had me all morning? Oh my God, thank you. Thank you so much. God, I have 10 more hours. I just tried to do stuff funny. I did get a sense this morning that you don't have a lot of fun in your industry, okay? So does it feel good to laugh and have a good time and have fun? And Kyle, you were a great sport. And I did whisper which woman. I set him up, so he was totally right to argue with me on that. You were a good guy. So now everything your wife asks you, well, you can just ignore, right? So anyway, squares and squiggles, communication, hurt and anger, we've covered a lot of stuff. Does this help? I think if I had to give a summation of all morning, I would say that in communication, you can't engage with idiots. Does that make sense? Engaging with an idiot is like talking to someone drunk. You know, right? You can't logically talk to someone drunk. You can't have a discussion with them. You just have to ignore it and go to bed and try it again. Some of you are engaging. You're trying, especially circles, you're trying too hard. You're trying to get them to like you or respect you or be good to you, and sometimes you can't. Sometimes there's people, and my favorite line is, "It's not my journey." And it sounds rah-rah, but I want to tell it to you. It means that we each kind of are here with our own life. Raise your hand if you agree with that. And when I was in college, at my very first counseling class, graduate school, a typical psychiatric professor came in with a goatee and the tweed jacket, and that's when we had maps that pulled down. And on the blackboard, he said, "I've written something under this blackboard, and I'm going to raise it and walk out of here for 1 hour. And I want you to look at what I wrote. And if you agree with it, stay in counseling. If you don't agree with it, this isn't your job." And he raised the map, and under it he had written, "Every single human being has a God-given right to live their life the way they want. You can love them, support them, help them, but you can't change their destiny from what they decide." How many of you agree with that? How many of you are still trying to change at least 3 people in your life right now? We all have one kid, we have one friend, we have one sibling, we have one parent, we have one boss, we have one. And the problem is, I've learned to just sometimes look at people and say, that's their journey. And I don't agree with it. It hurts me. It makes me sad. I wish I could help. And all we can do is say, "I'm here. I love you. I care for you. If you need me, I'm here." But I think what he was trying to say is, we can't ever change what other people have decided to do. Even if it's screwy, even if it's hurtful, even if they're harming themselves, and we can't change it. Does that make sense? So, where's our squares? You're glad it's over. You've had enough of me. You've never been with another human being this long in your whole entire life. Where's our triangles? You're now like, you got new material. Like, I know what I'm going to say. I know what I'm going to do. I've taken notes. I put it on my computer. Where's our circles? You're feeling better because you're the ones that are trying to help all these idiots, and you've learned that it's not your job to do that. Is that correct? It's not your job to fix everybody. And where's our squiggles? Yeah, you're just looking for a bar. So go at. In fact, I will meet you at the bar, and hope you all had a great morning. Bye-bye. Wait. Kyle, best I've ever had. Oh, wait, on stage. I was talking about on stage. Anyway, thank you so much for being a good sport. Bye-bye. Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, she just asked if I have books. I have tons of books. My website's ConniePodesta.com. You can go on. I got 10 books. My favorite one is Life Would Be Easy If It Weren't for Other People, How to Deal with Idiots. I wanted, but my publisher wouldn't let me put that on the book, but I think it every time I see it. So that's on there. If you go on YouTube, I've got like hundreds of every topic under the sun. I do not do squares and squiggles on YouTube because it's my livelihood. And if you, I'm on Instagram and Facebook and all that kind of stuff, but YouTube, and for any men that want to show this to you, I have a video of the 5 stupid questions women ask men. And the guy was so funny. He was great. I mean, he was so good, and it's really a good session. So, so that might be fun for you to take home. And there's lots on YouTube you can use. That sound good? And go home and do the squares and squiggles with your family, but don't tell them what you've already decided. Let them pick their own shape, and you'll usually look at that and go, no wonder our family is such a mess. I mean, look at this. So that'll help you out. So have a great time.